Normally, I have a pretty strong answer if someone were to ask me if I wanted to watch some new MCU. But with Ironheart, it's such a roller coaster on a Madam Web level that I almost looked forward to these final 3 episodes. Yes, Ironheart's season has already seen its conclusion. It's almost like Marvel knew they had a complete bomb incoming, so they detonated it over a 1-week period from June 24th to July 1st. My last Ironheart video got a totally reasonable reaction from people defending it.
I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch. I'll cut your throat, I'll come to your house and kill your children.
So I'm really looking forward to joining you all in the comments again. It doesn't look like Total War or anything.
That's what you get, fam.
No matter how you might feel about this show, there are a hilarious amount of writing flaws that simply cannot be ignored. Like, on a serious note, Riri Williams is a fucking monster. You'll see once I get to the finale later in the video, but she effectively learns nothing in this show at all. In fact, I would even say she's in a worse spot in every conceivable way by the end of the show. What's even crazier is they decided to go through with that kind of storytelling knowing they wouldn't be doing an Ironheart Season 2. They held on to this battered around butt pirate of a show for years, meaning there's no way they'll be filming anymore. So what we get at the end of episode 6 will be the lasting impression of Riri Williams. And my god, the Tony cope. First, no, Tony and Riri are nothing alike. Tony had his blind spots. He sold weapons of mass destruction, meaning there is a massive degree of separation between him and people dying. Meanwhile, Riri is over here blatantly murdering people and covering it up, not only across her debut in Wakanda Forever, but here in her own spin-off show too. Not to mention, Riri has effectively zero charisma. With great writing and acting, you can make an unlikable character unlikable due to their actions, very likable because of their personality. You can root for them and want them to do better. But Riri is not only too far gone, she was never even in the fucking ballpark. That's just one of many, many issues with the show, which is best served as its own analysis video. For now though, let's get to breaking down the final 3 episodes of this fucking train wreck. Episode 4. We begin with a flashback of Dipshit's zoomed-in face and his mentor, Minority Hero number 12, also known as the guy Riri allowed to die a savage death just last episode. These two stand-up citizens are about to break into someone's mansion, and do so with ease. I guess they've been watching Larry Bird videos.
I've been ballin' like a motherfucking pro.
The owner of this home is also conveniently too retarded to invest in a security system, thank God. In a contrived as all fuck circumstance, just as he's about to break into a safe, he's caught by a security guard and promptly rescued by Minority Hero, who shoots the guy and punches him in the face for good measure. Minority Hero tells Zoomface in an awkward bit of cringe-inducing dialogue that they have to split up, but he's never too far away. He'll always be with him.
I'm never too far away. I'm always with you.
This kind of writing might work if characters are escaping a harrowing situation that they didn't put themselves in, but these two did. They broke into the house, shot the guard, like, what the fuck? Enough with the flashbacks, we fast forward to present day, where they're reminiscing about what a great but stubborn guy the dead dude was. Hood stands up, declaring that he wouldn't want this to stop their mission, and that made me think, what is their mission? Well, so far, it looks like it's to accumulate money for themselves. That's it. They say their mission is to be the modern-day Chicago Hood version of Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, but the only people I see them giving a fucking dime to are themselves. In fact, they're so carefree with it, they were just throwing $100 bills around, showering in them and throwing a party. Great use of resources, guys. You're truly doing the Lord's work. Hilariously, Hood sticks to this motto and mission despite also admitting out loud to Riri that they're criminals last episode. It's just so fucking retarded, it's almost lovable. Riri's hyper paranoid that Hood's going to come after her and kill her, which, wait, the only reason she's even upset is because she knows what she did is traceable, so she's just afraid. She's not actually upset about what she did to poor old John Boy at all. Holy shit. What a psycho. Riri, future hero, gets horrendous advice from her AI dead best friend that it's totally okay she let John die, because John would have done the same thing. My question is, isn't the point to be better? At what point is she supposed to learn this lesson? And do the writers not realize that she's too far gone? John does get a mention in a passing line of dialogue.
You did what you had to do to survive. John would have done the same. Stressing over an act of self-defense is going to get you killed.
Shut your fucking mouth! Shut the fuck up, you
The dude was basically incapacitated and she had her suit on. He was absolutely harmless to her at that point, and she didn't need to let him die at all. In fact, when she went looking for him, she still could have saved him and she just decided not to. That's not self-defense, that is fucking murder. She leaves to see Joe, aka Cuck Solo, whose real identity as the son of Obadiah Stane has been discovered, because she sees he's been arrested and framed for the heist job and murder. She visits the walking humiliation ritual in jail, where he at least has something legitimate to say.
You're just a selfish kid. You lie, you cheat. You'll do anything you can to save yourself, even if that means hurting other people in the process.
God damn, this is what characters think of her who don't know she's a murderer. She even gives her mom a tracking device so she can keep an eye on her. You see, Riri's paranoia about Zoomface is peaking, but even the penguin loved his mother too. Riri gives one to her not boyfriend too, and with dialogue that's as subtle as a sledgehammer, point blank asks him,
So do you think I'm a good person?
Fuck no!
Thankfully, she receives crickets and backs off. And you know, I think they go through every single stereotype they possibly can, because they somehow even land on a fucking Kool-Aid joke and drugs in a 30-second span.
Ready to talk to me about what's going on?
Oh, I'm fine.
Girl, you just busted down my door like the Kool-Aid man. You want magic? Mama's got the plug.
Don't say what.
Writing characters like they have here in Ironheart means the only argument for why this is good would be to suggest it's authentic, which would be to suggest the black people fulfill any and all stereotypes about themselves, including any regarding crime and even fucking Kool-Aid. That's how this show portrays people. This monumental achievement of peak representation. Gone so far backwards, the writers fell inside the crevice of their own assholes. To help ease Riri's anxiety, her mom brings her to a shop where they sell crystals and sage and a bunch of, that bullshit. And the owner's daughter's wearing a shirt that, I shit you not, reads, "You're too good for him." We're just checking every progressive talking point from 2021 off the list, huh? Turns out the owner are sorcerers, like Doctor Strange. And the daughter senses the piece of magical cape in Riri's pocket, I guess. So what does she do next? She decides to drag everyone into an alternate dimension to study it. If that not only sounds super fucking convenient that Riri knew a magical being, but at the same time sounds confusing and or makes absolutely no fucking sense, don't worry, you're not alone. They tell her this magical cape shit is bad news. It influences whoever's wearing it, and it's some dark, evil stuff. They kick Riri and her mom out of the store, where her mother gets upset that Riri keeps things so secretive. But this just pisses the little bitch off even more, and she, flies off. Elsewhere, Zoomface goes to visit Cuck Solo in jail, where the guy is so retarded he asks Zoomface, aka Man Who Teleports and Wears a Cape, if he's a fucking lawyer. In fact, the guy's so dumb he hides a spare key to his hideout right under the doormat. Riri is trying to figure things out, and well, oh no, she can't figure things out, and after a while leaves because she's having a panic attack, and man, this show is just so subtle.
I can't breathe, knowing everyone I love is going to die. I can't breathe.
Really, you guys? How fucking low will you go? And we can throw this cope in there too. See? She's just like Tony, because he had panic attacks in Iron Man 3. Remember? Back to Cuck Solo. He's been freed of his jail cell by Zoomface, who gave him a job offer. The whole crew is there to help break him out, including Slug, the green-haired they-them, typing on a keyboard like this.
Incoming. He's headed your way.
As retarded as Cuckboy is, Riri is simply not to be outdone. Her dead best friend AI runs off and grabs her not brother and brings him to Riri to talk to her, and just decides it's cool to reveal Natalie to him. The dude is rightfully horrified, and Riri's like, oh hey yo, what the fuck, you just get used to it. I'm surprised he didn't haul off and strike her. The episode ends with Stane getting ready to have something crazy with his tech done to him, and Zoomface is ready to kill Riri for the murder of Johnny Boy. I'll give She-Hulk this. At least that show is short. 30-minute episodes. This at nearly an hour an episode is pure fucking torture, no matter how laughably bad it is. Anyway.
Episode 5. Fucking kill me.
We kick things off with a little reminder of how much better Riri is than everyone else. She literally rattles off all the people she's going to usurp, including Hank Pym and Tony Stark. It's just her dead AI best friend reliving Riri's memories when she's suddenly kidnapped by a non-binary person. Yes, that's a real sentence. Diverse and strong female character number 7 is sitting down with Riri trying to break reality to her. She's dealing with Dormammu, and that means she's fucked. You remember Dormammu, right? He was the final boss of the first Doctor Strange movie. The guy with such incredible design, he's at least one step up from the Galactus Cloud in the Fantastic Four sequel. The script thinks the audience is so fucking stupid they have characters spell everything out for us.
They just need a puppet to carry out whatever plan they're coming up with, and Parker, blinded by ambition, easy to manipulate.
Whatever screenplays have become, I absolutely hate it. This is Madam Web level retarded. And after hearing her diverse friend's warning, the Progressive Corridor crew arrives to apparently kidnap Riri in broad daylight in front of people. This crew of do-gooders give to the poor, right? They steal from the rich and... Ooh, oh, look at how well they take care of their people.
He said we're closed.
What ensues is probably the most absurd fight scene this side of a Zack Snyder movie, with characters punching and kicking and asking things like, "Ha, you like that?" to each other with no sense of just how unintentionally hilarious the whole thing comes across.
Oh, you like that?
You got a Chicago-born black criminal fighting two lesbian sisters in a kitchen brawl. I don't know what's funnier, what I see on screen, or the fact that someone actually made this up and thought it was a good idea. Regardless of why we're here, well, we are. And so is Riri as she learns the hard way never to hit a lesbian. God damn. That's right, she gets absolutely donkey kicked by this butch bitch who stands there prouder than Agent Smith, giving Riri the old Mr. Anderson. Oh, and the dialogue here makes me want to murder myself.
Girl genius dies. My death won't make the news. Well, damn, that was dark. Yeah, but I low-key felt it. Yeah, high-key.
Riri asks them to just make it quick, and they oblige by pulling out a gun. Which, why didn't they just fucking do that in the first place? She tricks the two lesbians, but there's still another one to deal with. The girl who wears garbage bags for some reason. She brawls out with this dumbass, leaving the White Castle to look like a BLM protest just passed through. And although she escapes, the they-them final boss is on her tail. Turns out though, the dead AI best friend can just break out of the van at the most convenient time and attach the suit to Riri, giving us the best scene in the entire show. I fucking bust out laughing at this shit. Check it out. The script has the scene written like we're clapping and laughing along with it, so I don't want to spoil it for the screenwriters, but dear God, are we not laughing with you? Somehow this fugly thing doesn't even break a fucking nail. Turns out that was just the transgender final boss though, because there's another one, Cuck Solo, who's upgraded himself with some Spider-Man villain-like powers. We get a fantastic dialogue exchange where, once again, everything's spelled out for the characters because the screenwriters think the audience is as stupid as they are.
Pretty neat, right? I was bailed out by a mutual friend, Parker Robbins. Got me my stuff back.
What does he want in return?
You.
He thankfully whoops her ass, but because there's one more episode, we know she's unfortunately gonna be back. Right now though, stand back folks. You're about to hear a compliment out of me because something actually works in this show. In fact, it doesn't just work. If they could have followed up what happens next with anything close to it in terms of quality, they might have been able to redeem the show. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Riri returns home, where her mom convinces her it's time to fight back. She brings her to her dead stepdad's old auto garage, where the also dead best friend AI projects an old memory of Riri's for everyone to see. It's of her when she was a kid, with her stepdad just hanging out in the garage together. Not only is this scene poignantly written, it's also incredibly well acted. Yes, the actors who have been redefining cringe for the last 5 episodes put on a stellar performance for this one singular brilliant scene. It's so fucking good, it feels wildly out of place in this hellhole of a TV program. I feel like I just sold my soul to the fucking devil, okay? So back to our regularly scheduled program. Yes, back to the show, being dumb as fuck. Her mom surprises Riri with the old car that belonged to her stepdad, and it's just sitting outside the building, meaning they walked right past it when they walked in. Yet Riri's shocked to see it sitting there, so just, you know, right back to stupid. Apparently, the only reason Zoomface got Cuck Solo out of jail was so he could juice him up, making him capable of killing Riri Williams, even though Hood is fully capable of killing Riri himself. So why didn't he just go do that? Because fuck you, that's why. Elsewhere, there's dissent amongst the Gen Z cast. Because of something Riri said earlier, the plastic bag-wearing girl suspects Hood actually killed Eric Andre, which for whatever reason comes as a massive surprise to these criminals. This triggers Zoomface into committing a hate crime when he attacks the non-binary thing. Not even the lesbians, powerful as they are, can get him to let go of its neck. He pisses everyone off into leaving because everyone's shocked that the other murderous criminals are full of betrayal. This show sucks so much cock. Back to Riri, she's apparently going to use Dormammu in some capacity to fight Zoomface. And who shows up to say hello now that he's done crying? Why, the hello black people guy.
Hey, black people.
She gave him a note with some Star Trek shit on it to butter him up, so he just showed up to make fun of her geekiness, I guess.
You fucking nerd!
During this entire scene, they film it using Dutch angles for some fucking reason. God damn, do I hate Dutch angles. They do use this when magic is present in the show, but I don't care, I fucking hate this shit. They're building a new suit while Hood goes to fetch Cuckboy. He doesn't want him to leave after all. Nope, he plans to use him as his own killing machine, I guess. Are we still planning on doing a ton more heists and stealing from the rich and giving to the poor? And does motivation even fucking matter at this point? Most people's motivation in the show comes down to, I'm doing it because I can. Oh, and this has got to be one of the most ludicrous shots in the entire show. Zoomface is headed into the house he was in during the flashback last episode. Turns out it's his father's house. And what does his dad do? Well, first of all, he joins in on delivering the vomit-inducing dialogue.
The only way to even get you to pay attention to me was if I was in trouble. What you expect?
I didn't want you, so I thought it would be better for both of us to cut our losses and move on. Nothing personal.
So you tried really hard with him, but he was just a bad egg, yet it was nothing personal? Sounds pretty fucking personal. Anyway, the dude with the giant mole to rival Rachel McAdams really triggers Zoomface. So with the threat of a gun, he signs over his company because, once again, that's how this fucking stuff works, I guess. Meanwhile, Riri's having her suit imbued with magic, but to do so, the suit can't power both her dead AI best friend and magic because the plot needs it to happen that way. So her dead AI best friend disappears.
Episode 6. It sucks.
Finally, we're at the last episode of this piss stain. And who gets revealed to get us started? Why, Mephisto. Yes, we're in a flashback scene where the villain people have been clamoring for, constantly thinking he'd appear in this show, or that movie, or wherever the fuck. Well, he's finally here, and where does he appear but in Ironheart?
Fuck you!
He's played by Borat himself, who shows up to dupe Zoomface into a partnership.
I can help you be king of the castle. You will have jail,
he promises, and Zoomface is like,
I'm fucking down like a clown, Charlie Brown.
In the present, he's accomplished that task, living like a king due to plot contrivances and general retardation of all who stand before him each episode, and he's having a Harry Potter level meal for himself and Cuckboy. He tells this bitch to try the caviar, to which old Cucky responds that eating baby animals is unethical. This makes Zoomface mad, but to be fair, I think he's holding back, because I would have choked the fucker to death by this point. The guy is such a buffoon, he picks up a fork with the clear intent to stab him while Zoomface is fucking looking at him. Unsurprisingly, Cuck gets the fork right in the leg for his troubles. Turns out that he's got that Directive 4 in his brain. Yeah boy, he's got that RoboCop, because his programming means he can't allow harm to come to Zoomface, even at his own hand. I told you Solo was here for a humiliation ritual. Who takes this kind of role? He went from playing the coolest dude in the galaxy to this bruised up bitch. Anyway, elsewhere, Parker starts talking to Borat in the ether. He even asks him important questions.
When'd you get an accent?
Kazakhstan being the obvious answer, Borat fucks with him a bit, playing hide and seek, saying, la 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 la, you'll never get this. Riri's trying to find Parker at the same time this is going on, but ends up running into Cucky Boy instead. And just listen to how this fucking idiot talks.
Can you move?
I totally hear your request. There's just one small, tiny little snag.
And then to help the guy, she has to, I kid you not, kick him in the fucking balls. What the fuck did this guy do? Fuck Bob Iger's wife? And now the finale, where the great character arc of Riri reaches its conclusion, where she's going to be reborn as a hero. Like Tony said, never has a greater Phoenix metaphor been personified in human history, am I right? Parker even sets it up for Riri to knock it out of the park like fucking Babe Ruth.
Face it, Riri, you're a criminal like me.
They fight for all of 2 seconds before he rips her not arc reactor out and blows up the suit, or so he thinks. Riri uses a hologram to distract him and rips the cloak off him, leaving us with a shell of a man, getting paid real money to be filmed rolling around on the ground, screaming, "Give it back." Give it back! Yes, the final fight is that anticlimactic. And just when you think the writers might want to give Riri even the faintest skeleton outline of a character arc, they fall flat on their face. Because this bitch makes a deal with the motherfucking devil. That's right, she goes from being a murdering, selfish criminal to start the show to essentially making a deal with the fucking devil at the end. You can't make this shit up, folks. And I'm called Cynic? What could possibly be more of a cynical way to end this story than that? She makes a deal with him to get her best friend and stepdad back, basically. So now she's about to go from just your average, everyday criminal to a full-fledged supervillain. But anyway, that's it. That's the fucking show. I've said it once, but I will say it again. This entire thing, all 6 episodes, has been one of the most perplexing, hilarious, and baffling things I've ever watched. It's a show that's incredibly of its time. A very small window in time in which the most progressive, stereotypical, trite trash could be thrown on a theater screen or a television screen, and it would garner critical praise and not much else. Now, even though this sat on the shelf for a few years, it feels like a relic. It feels like something that belongs in a museum, or maybe a toilet would be more appropriate. Ironheart is, in the end, everything you expected it to be and much more. Not only is it a complete piece of shit, it also shocks with one of the best 3 minutes the MCU might have ever produced, while the remaining 99% is dog shit in pate form. One of the worst written products the MCU's ever produced. All wrapped around an insane price tag and brought to you by actors who seem to not give one single fuck about what they're doing. I'm honestly shocked anyone in the show could take it seriously long enough to get a fucking scene finished. It comes off like they made a show in bad faith, going back to reshoot a few scenes to give it a sad attempt at sincerity. It'll get lost in the shuffle amongst all the Marvel trash, but I'll put it right up there alongside She-Hulk as Marvel's greatest embarrassment. Before we depart, dear friends, I just want to let you know I now have a Patreon. That's just $5 a month, and you get access to exclusive reviews just like this one every single week that aren't available on the main channel. And a huge shout out to everyone over on Patreon who's supporting me. I really appreciate all of you. Link is on the screen and in the description. Till next time, GG's.